Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. I'm Tanushree. So students, in our last video, we discussed the complete strategy for agriculture and rural development. And now, those of you who are preparing for NABARD 2026 exam, it is equally important to know the complete strategy of ESI. So students, in this particular video, we are going to see what is the syllabus of ESI, what are the most important topics of ESI, what kind of questions are asked here, how you have to prioritize the things that you are studying, what are the best sources you can use to prepare for ESI, and what should be your study plan to prepare for the ESI for NABARD 2026 examination. So on that note, let us begin. But before I start, students, if you are preparing for NABARD grade examination, it is very important for you to have the PYQs, the detailed syllabus, and the component wise strategy. And we have compiled all of that in this one particular guidebook. You can download it for free from the link that has been given in the description box below. On that note, let us start our today's session. So first of all, students, let me tell you that what all is asked and what are the different components in the ESI that you need to prepare. So students, first of all, in the phase 1, we are asked ESI in the objective form. It is a part of your merit section, and 40 marks worth of ESI is asked here. Now students, out of these 40 marks, we can divide them into two areas, static and current affairs. But here, a major part of the ESI, it is dominated by the current affairs. Every year around 35 to 37 questions they are asked from the current affairs only, and very few questions are asked from the static part. Similarly, in the phase 2, ESI is asked in both the objective form and in the descriptive form. If you have a look at the objective form, roughly around 25 marks of ESI is asked here out of 50 marks, and out of that, static portions weightage is hardly of 1 to 2 marks. Generally, the weightage is dominated again by the current affairs in the phase 2 as well. Now, if I talk about the descriptive part, students, so here I would say that the questions they might be there from the current affairs, but if you want to answer these questions in a very comprehensive manner, and if you want to score really good in this descriptive paper, you need to have a good knowledge of the static as well, because even if a scheme related question is there or some report related question is there, when you are analyzing it, you need to know all the components of the static part as well to answer it in a more comprehensive manner. So that is how in different phases, in different forms, ESI is asked to us. And here I have also told you that what is the weightage of the static and the current. So first of all, let us talk about the static. So as far as the static ESI is concerned, this is what the syllabus of ESI looks like. It includes topics such as nature of Indian economy, inflation, poverty alleviation and employment generation, population trends, agriculture, industry, rural banking and financial institutions, a very important topic from the descriptive perspective, globalization of economy, social structure in India, education, social justice, social movements, Indian political system, human development, and current economic and social issues. So this is the entire ESI syllabus. Now, student, the question arises that can we rely on the most important chapters? And if so, then what are those most important chapters for the ESI? So, students, the most important chapters, this is the list here. It includes inflation, balance of payment, monetary policy, fiscal policy, measurement of growth, sustainable development and environmental issues, and international economic institution. Now, the question arises, can I leave all other chapters? My answer is a big no. Students, if you are preparing, if you have started your preparation right now, you have the liberty of time, and if you have that resource with you, it is better to prepare for all the chapters. Because for example, have a look at this particular question. This was asked in 2023, and this question says write a note on India's demographic dividend. Now such kind of questions of 10 marks or 15 marks, they can be asked in the descriptive paper, and by no chance you will be able to answer this question if you have not read all the other chapters of the ESI, the static chapters of the ESI, and if you have not prepared for it. And in the phase 2, where there is a competition of every single marks, a question worth 10 to 15 marks has a lot of weightage. It can be the game changer. So therefore it becomes very important for us to prepare the static part as well, right? Now, coming to the next part, that is, if you are preparing for the static part, both for the phase 1 and phase 2, then what are the sources that you can refer to? So students, if you are someone who has absolutely no idea of the economics, then you can start your preparation by using these NCRTs. Introductory Macroeconomics, this is a class 12th NCRT, and Indian Economic Development, this is a class 11th NCRT. Apart from that, there is a very good book, Indian Economy by Ramesh Singh. You can use this book. For the social issues part, you can use this book, Social Problems in India by Ram Ahuja. So these are the books that you can use if you are preparing through self-study. But if you are enrolled in some courses, or if you are enrolled in some coaching institute, then it is better to follow their sources only, right? So that is how I sum up the static part. Now comes the kingmaker in the ESI, which is the current affairs. Let us discuss about that. But in the current affairs also, students, the questions, they are asked from different areas, right? So the questions, they can be there from the schemes, the questions, they can be there from reports, they can be there from the ARD current affairs also, and the static part also. So first of all, let us analyze that what is the weightage of the current affairs, and in the current affairs also, which areas gain more uh, proportionately more interest or more weightage in the current affairs also. So this is the analytical table for the 2025 paper. Here if you see that out of 40 questions, 18 questions were there from government schemes, right? Close to 9 and 10 questions were there from ESI current affairs. Apart from there, that 4 questions were there from the reports and indices, ARD current affairs, ARD static part. So students, if you prepare these 4 areas, that is the government schemes, the ESI current affairs, reports and indices, and the ARD current affairs, this together makes 18 plus like 10, 28, and 28 plus 8 is again 36, right? So close to 35, 36 marks worth of paper is from these 4 areas only. Similarly, if you have a look at the 2024 paper, again here 14 questions were there from the government schemes, right? Around 11 questions were there from ESI current affairs, 6 questions were there from ARD current affairs, and reports and indices. So again, these 4 areas, they become the most important areas as far as the ESI current affairs are concerned. Now let us discuss about these 3 areas in great detail. ARD current affairs is something that I have already discussed with you when I was discussing the ARD strategy. So you can refer to that video for the ARD current affairs part. Right now, for the ESI current affairs, I am going to discuss government schemes, reports and indices, and the current affairs. Now, students, as far as the schemes are concerned, there are 2 questions. First of all, which schemes do we have to study, and how many months of schemes do we have to study, and then what we have to study as far as these schemes are concerned. So students, first of all, which schemes are concerned, so here there is a 2 point criteria that you have to use. First, that scheme should be there, scheme should be related to your syllabus. Like if there is a scheme which is related to financial inclusion, pension, women, related to children, anything which is given in your ESI syllabus, if the scheme is related to that particular topic, you have to study it. Secondly, the time period, and this answers the how question as well. If that scheme is there in news in last 5 to 6 months, right? So you have to cover that as well, right? If the scheme is there in last 5 to 6 months, and if it is related to the syllabus, you have to cover that particular scheme, right? And now coming to the next part, that what all you have to cover in the schemes part, right? Now as far as the schemes are concerned, students, you have to cover the current dimension. First of all, that why it is there in the news, if some beneficiary has been added or not, or if the budgetary allocation has been increased, if some new component has been added, right? So whatever for whatsoever reason the scheme is there in the news, you have to cover that current dimension. Apart from that, you have to cover certain static areas of that scheme as well, like which is the nodal ministry, the launch year, funding patterns, budgetary allocations, objectives, targeted beneficiaries. These all are the other aspects that you have to cover as far as the static part of that scheme is concerned, right? Now coming to the next part, which is the reports and the indices. So students, again, all the reports which are related to our syllabus and which are there in the news in last 3 to 5 months before your exam, they become important. Reports such as economic survey, union budget, right, world development report, world economic outlook. So all these reports, they become very important. Gender equality, environment, poverty, migration, urbanization, all these are the topics from our syllabus. So if any report of any reputed national and international organization comes related to these particular topics in the 3 to 5 months preceding our examination, then you have to cover that. That becomes important, right? Now, students, coming to the next part, that is the ESI current affairs. So what you have to cover in the ESI current affairs? So all the remaining one-liner kind of news, like if some GDP projection is there, if some repo rate setting is there, some inflation related news is there. So that is all what you have to cover as far as the ESI current affairs are concerned, right? Now students, coming to the next part, that what are the sources from where we have to cover these current affairs. So students, for schemes, the best source is the PIB website. For reports, PIB website or the Hindu newspaper or any other newspaper. And for ESI current affairs also, Hindu newspaper or Live Mint or PIB website. These are the sources that you can refer to if you are preparing on your own. Right. Now students, as far as the time period is concerned, you have to refer to these current affairs for 3 to 5 months preceding your exam. Right. So this is the time period for which you have to cover the current affairs. So students, with this we have covered the objective part in a great detail, which includes the static part as well as the current affairs part. Now let us talk about the descriptive part. So students, in the descriptive also, a lot of questions they are asked from the current affairs. But as I have told you, if you want to answer any particular question in a comprehensive manner, so you have to prepare it from the current affairs as well as the static portion. So how we are going to prepare the descriptive part of the ESI? So here is a 7-point agenda that you have to follow. First of all, you have to make the fodder material. Here I think in my PPT there is some mistake. So the first is the fodder material. I have mentioned it at point number 5, but this is the first step that you have to do. Now what is this fodder material? Fodder material is basically that whatever topic you are studying, right, in the static part also, make notes of the reforms, challenges, current developments, social, economic, legal, political angles, schemes, characteristics, what are the steps taken by the government, what are the results of those steps. So make notes of all these points for every particular topic. So for example, if I talk about the health, so for health, if you have maintained notes like the government spends this much of the GDP, right, almost this percent of healthcare expenditure comes out from the pockets of the citizens, right? So this kind of data or this kind of fodder which you are going to use while writing your answer, first of all you have to prepare it. Now, the second step that comes is to learn it. Students, let me tell you, if I ask you that what does the Google logo looks like, so you might say that it has a slightly blue color, it has a yellow color also. But if I categorically ask you that tell me the color of letter G, tell me the color of letter L, it will be very difficult for you. So that is the difference between recall and recognition. In the objective type paper, the answer is right in front of our eyes in the form of those options, so we can very well recognize it. But in the descriptive paper, you have to recall the exact facts and exact data, only then you will be able to write good answers. So whatever fodder material you have prepared, it is very very important for you to learn it by heart. So when I ask you that tell me 5 challenges related to the healthcare, so those 5 challenges should be there on your fingertips, only then you will be able to write good answers and in a time format. So the second thing that you have to do is to learn it by heart. Third is start practicing, and while practicing, take care of few things such as spelling and grammatical errors. Coming to the typing speed, students. First of all, a lot of students ask that what should be a typing speed. So students, your typing speed should be ideally 30 to 40 words per minute, right? So that is what your typing speed should be. And here again, students, a lot of you ask that how to improve it. So there are only two ways. First of all, learn the fodder material. A lot of times students don't learn it and they don't realize that while typing they spend a lot of time just thinking about the answer, just recalling what to write. So you can save that time by learning your fodder material in a good enough manner. And secondly, you have to do a lot of practice. Simply by doing the practice, your typing speed will increase. So these are the two things that you have to do in case if you are worrying about your typing speed. Next, freezed word limits. So students, the word limits are there, right? So for the 15 markers, the word limit is 600 words, and for 10 markers, the word limits is 400 words. So this is the word limit. Now again the students ask ki, can the word limit slightly deviate? So yes students, the word limits can slightly deviate. You can write up to 550 to 570 words in a 600 word question. and you can write around 350 to 370 words in a 400 word question. So yes, the word limits can vary slightly. Now coming to the next part, which is the bad interface. So students, a lot of time the bad interface issue occurs. So therefore I'll suggest you that even if you have laptops, try practicing on keyboards, borrow keyboards from your friends and try practicing on different keyboards, so that in the exam, whatever situation comes, you are able to tackle it. Lastly, evaluation. Please do get your answers evaluated. You can use the chat GPT, you can ask your friends or your teachers to evaluate it, right? So do use the evaluation, because in our eyes we all write the best answers, but it is very important to know the point of view of someone who's an expert in the field. So please get your answers evaluated. So that was the 7 point agenda that you have to follow in order to improve your descriptive writing skills and in order to prepare for the descriptive part of ESI syllabus. So students, with this we have discussed all the things that we are supposed to discuss as far as this particular video is concerned and as far as the ESI strategy is concerned. One more point is left here, that is, students, try writing at least one answer on a daily basis. That will give you enough amount of practice, right? And you will be able to write good answers. Coming to the next part, which is the study plan. See students, in the last video when I talked about the ARD strategy, I told you that right now if you are starting, your first subject that you need to cover is the ARD. Now, if you are a working aspirant, ideally you should cover only one subject at a time. So you can focus only on the ARD. But if you are someone who is preparing for the full time, right, or if you are someone whose ARD syllabus is complete, then the next thing that you need to pick up is the ESI. Start preparing the ESI. If you are giving daily 2 to 3 hours, then within 1 month, this subject will be done for you from both the phase 1 and phase 2 perspective. So that is how you can prepare or you can plan for your ESI strategy and your ESI like for completing your ESI syllabus, right? So students, with this we have come to an end of our today's video, and if you want to enroll in any paid mentorship, then you can visit our website edutab.in. We have dedicated courses for the NABARD grade examination. The first course that we have is the NABARD Grade A Gold course, and as part of this course we provide you the concept classes, recorded classes, live classes are there, notes are there, summary sheets for revision is there, mock tests are there, descriptive fodder material for every single topic is there. And to prepare every topic in a comprehensive manner, we provide you the quizzes as well. So these are the deliverables under our gold course, and in the gold course we provide you the mentorship for phase 1, phase 2 and the interview part. Apart from that, we have the silver course, and as part of the silver course we provide you the mentorship for phase 2 and the interview, right? So these are the courses that are currently available on our website. And if you're preparing through self-study, then you can enroll in our phase 1 and phase 2 test series. So these are the courses that are currently available. On that note, students, I'm ending this session here. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the very best.